Now, this is a very quick film which I've been asked to make about interview technique, what to do when you're applying for a university place, what to do when you're applying maybe for a place in a sixth form college or in a school, or even for a job. The tricks are always the same, and they fall down into three principles. Firstly, interest. Let's write this on the board. Interest, which is the most important, and this also involves preparation. Be interested enough to prepare. So if you're going to be interviewed by a particular university tutor, check to see what that tutor has written. If you have time, read it. Ask interesting questions. That's part of the remit of being interesting and showing interest. The second point is process. We're going to come back to these, so we'll look at these in more detail. Process. When you are asked a question, what we're interested in is not necessarily the absolute answer, but seeing the way that you handle the process of arriving at an answer. We want to see the way your brain is working. And number three, and this one I think are terribly important, honesty. And we're going to start with honesty because I have a funny story. Now, honesty, try always to answer honestly because you will get caught out. That's part of the issue. The other part is try to be honest about yourself. Try to think about what you actually want and what your real aspirations are. It's you in the room, not your mother or father who may want particular things for you, and perhaps quite rightly so. But it's you on the spot. So be honest about what you really want. Now, I remember a boy going up for an interview in Oxford. Now, I actually knew that the college that he was applying to was very interested in taking him. And I asked him, what sort of films are you watching at the moment? He thought this was a ridiculous question. Anyway, he gave me some answer. It was Spielberg. He was passionate about Jurassic Park and, when prompted, knew everything there was to know about alien abduction. But he must have figured this was entertainment and not worthy of serious discussion. And so, I suppose, he reasoned that he needed to have an interest in films which were, more academic. When he went to the interview, exactly as I predicted, he got the question, what films are you watching at the moment? He came out with the line, Bertolucci. Well, he knew nothing about Bertolucci. He knew everything about Spielberg. And the master rang me up that evening to say he could not understand why the boy had lied. And on those grounds alone, the interview did not go his way. A great shame. Now, let's go back to interest. There are some tricks to demonstrate your interest. The first is try to keep eye contact with your interviewer. Try to show interest in your eyes. If you hear the same thing again that you've already heard before, don't look bored. And on the subject of boredom, is there a position you can adopt to demonstrate interest? Yes, there is. Try to sit on the front of the chair. Try to lean forward slightly. Look interested. Now, there's a nice little rhetorical flourish which can help you to remember things and is so well worn. Indeed, this little talk is dependent on it. It's a thing called the tricolon. All the best things come in threes because that gives us inspiration, anticipation, excitement. We set something up. It happens, and then we follow through. You have the same thing in comedy. If you want to create a really good comic gag, let's say the banana skin, throw a banana skin on the floor and then watch somebody step on it and fall over. Not funny. Watch somebody notice the banana skin, avoid it once, avoid it a second time, and then get distracted and then step on it and fall over. Tremendously funny. Examples of the tricolon. They're all over the place. Veni, vidi, vici. What Caesar said. I came, I saw, I conquered. Churchill. Never has so much been owed by so many to so few. so much, so many, so few. A perfect tricolon. Of course, Churchill and Blair have cheated. A Churchill cheat. Blood, toil, tears and sweat. He turns 4 into 3. Blair, education, education, education. He turns 1 into 3. You get the same thing if you're an estate agent. Location, location, location. Now, film titles, The Good, the Bad and the Ugly. Try to remember this. One way of structuring an argument is to think in 3s and try and get the really exciting point of your argument at the end, point 3. There are 3, I think there are 3 points here. 1, 2, and thirdly and finally, most importantly, 3. Process. How do we show process? Well, particularly with university interviews, the interviewer is not interested in tricking you, catching you out. This is a fantasy, a piece of mythology. The interviewer is there to give you an opportunity to show the workings of your brain. So process is everything. You may not get the right answer. We all know from mathematics that it's the reasoning, actually, which is probably more important than the final product. Similarly, when we're writing an essay, it's the reasoning, it's the process which is valued. We may get the wrong answer, or we may get an answer that somebody doesn't agree with, but if we can back it up with good reason, with good process, then we get the reward. Now, the other thing that is important about an interview, and then I'm going to stop, is preparation. I said it at the beginning, I'm going to say it again. Prepare. Not only can you prepare by seeing if the tutor or the employer has written something, or if there's something on Google. Oh my goodness, the internet is such a resource. Use it, for goodness sake. Not to use it is to be stupid. But make sure you actually arrive in plenty of time. You don't need to present yourself right on the dot. Potter around. Get a feel for the place. This is the place you want a job. This is the place you want to study. This is the place where you're going to spend a few years of your life. Could I see myself working here? Could I see myself studying here? If you see other students, other workers, ask them interesting questions. It's not about the ideas at this point. It's about convincing yourself, convincing your heart that this is the place you really want to be. If you love something enough, that will come across. And one thing that an interviewer loves and likes and responds well to is enthusiasm for what they have to offer. Because yes, this is an interview where you are demonstrating what you want. But it's also an opportunity for the interviewer to demonstrate whether or not they are worthy of you. You've got a lot to offer. So, good luck and do your very best. And I hope you end up where you want to be.